2016. I'll call the Wright County Board meeting to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the minutes of October 18th, 2016.
Mr. Chair, I will move the minutes from last week.
I'll second those. Motion by Commissioner Houston, second by Commissioner Potter. Any further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. The agenda. Anybody have anything to amend on the agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Delight. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, should we make a motion at some point to follow recommendations of attorney for the closed session yesterday?
I saw it more as an update than anything.
Because it really is, it wasn't changing anything.
Yeah, I don't think there was any change of
Okay.
direction or nothing.
Okay,
there.
that's fine. It was more of a clarification, yeah, okay. That's it. We didn't vote.
Okay, so we had a motion and a second, correct?
Yep.
Motion and a second to approve it as it's written. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. The consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to pull item A,
Okay.
Make a motion for the rest.
and I'll make a motion to approve the rest of the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion to approve B through D of the consent agenda by Delight and second by Burrell. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Item A1.
Yes, I understand that there was a mistake in the premiums. I would suggest that the coordinator handle that one.
Yeah, Kaylee, do you want to just speak to the
Yes, I
small-
certainly can. In your board packet, there is a correction that needs to be made on the top section regarding Family Plan 4. The total monthly premium in your packet reads $1,691.01. That should read 61 cents. And then corresponding on the same line over to the monthly employee cost, that should read $346.61. Any questions or clarifications I could give on that?
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the corrected health insurance premiums for the non-union employees.
Second.
Motion by Delight and second by Burrell. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. 9:03 a.m. Adam Tagaro, IT Director. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. This morning, I would like to introduce you to our new office technician. This is Jennifer Rassett, and she's been with us for a couple of weeks now and has hit the ground running, taking care of a lot of our office tasks and invoicing, and I just thought I'd let her tell you a little bit about herself.
So I am a Wright County native. I grew up in Maple Lake on Little Maple, and then me and my husband, we currently live right outside of Cokato on the corner of 5 and 35. So I'm pretty excited to be here, and thank you for the opportunity. So,
And who's
Thank
your
you.
husband's dad is?
my husband's dad is Les Rassett, and
Okay.
I'm a Pribble, so I'm definitely a Wright County. So,
Maple Lake all the
Who's
way.
your dad?
yeah, Maple Lake all the way.
Who's your
Yep.
dad?
Ted and Angie Pribble.
Ted. Okay.
Welcome to Wright County.
How is,
Yes.
how is Dave
Or working
related?
for Wright County. Of course, you've lived here sometime.
Oh, yeah, you know everyone.
Yeah.
You don't talk about anyone's, because I know them all, or I'm related to them all, so.
Yeah, congratulations.
Welcome and thank you for
Yes,
coming to
thank you
work.
very much.
And So far, Adam hasn't complained about you at all. I've talked to him a number of times, so
Well, that's-
that's a good,
That's
that's a
good.
really good start.
That's good.
Because there's a few of them that, you know, he has complained already about, so.
Sounds good.
And if anything's wrong, it's Adam's fault.
They've all been wonderful.
Sounds good, board, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Welcome aboard.
9:05 a.m., Bob Hevola, but Tammy, you're sitting in for Bob today?
I am.
Okay, Tammy, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. So the first thing that we have is to adopt a resolution of the MPCA Clean Water Partnership. You guys had already approved this participation, but we received some final paperwork that we needed some signatures on. And so that's what we are looking for today on that. I don't know if anything to explain on it, if you guys have any questions.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution regarding Wright County sponsor role in the MPCA Clean Water Partnership.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Deloitte and second by Commissioner Potter. Any further discussion? Appears to be in a resolution format. Is that correct? Okay, roll call vote. Commissioner Burrell? Aye.
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 Resolution carries unanimous. And item 2, tobacco license.
Second thing on the agenda is to approve a new tobacco license for CMV's E-Cig Lounge, doing business as E-Cig in the city of Monticello.
Okay. Is there a motion on the item?
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Houston,
I'll second it.
second by Commissioner Deloitte. Any further discussion?
This is a brand-new one, is that why
I
this
believe
is
so,
here?
correct? Mm-hmm.
Looks like it.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. And here's the signed list of claims. Thank you. Now, let's see here. 9:10 a.m. and Virgil Hawkins. Good morning, Virgil.
Morning, Chairman Swatsky and Board of Commissioners. Today I have one item for your consideration. I'd like to set a Transportation Committee meeting of the whole to discuss a few items. And as I looked at some of the dates here, I'm thinking Tuesday, November 1st, either at 11 or 1:15 might be one of the best dates to look at, if that works for your
Don't
schedules.
we already have something scheduled?
Mr. Chair, we have strategic
At
planning on
10:30.
10:30 on the 1st.
We could do it in the afternoon.
The afternoon work?
We
on
could do
it?
it
Do
in
the
the afternoon.
1:15.
1:15. Does that work with your schedule, Mr. Chair?
It works with mine. How about everybody else? I got a question on this number 4 here. Did
Yep.
you bring that back up, or did they bring that back up?
I brought that back up. It had never been resolved as I went through some of the meetings and,
Well, if they're not bringing it back up, why are we bringing it back up?
well, they've asked me about it before, recently.
Okay, recently when? Because I haven't seen them for about 4 months.
I think I talked to Dan Lind a few weeks ago, and he asked, is there any resolution to that yet?
Via the telephone, or?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I think this would be good to clean this up anyway, because I believe Coordinator Kelly has this on his desk still.
Yes.
So this would
I've
be
had
good to
that
get
bill
this
on
up.
hold for a while.
The final answer, we're done. With that, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to set the Transportation Committee of the whole meeting for Tuesday, November 1st at 1:15 p.m.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Potter, second by Houston. Any further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All same sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Virgil?
Let's see, here, item for consideration, schedule fees.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
For service public hearing.
Every year, we like to schedule a meeting in the fall to review any changes to the fee schedule for the entire county and do it as one meeting. We've gathered various fees that the departments are wishing to change, and by changing those, we do need to have a public hearing to do so. So I'm looking at scheduling a public hearing for that. I would propose that we do that on the board meeting of November 15th. If that would be acceptable, we do already have another timed item commitment at 9:45 that day, but I think 9:30 would be sufficient time.
Okay, is there a motion to set a public hearing at 9:30 a.m. on the 15th of November for the purpose of fees for service?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Delight, second by Commissioner Potter. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. We're still a few minutes ahead of schedule. Advisory Committee, Advisory Board updates. Commissioner Burrell, why don't we get started on these? Maybe we'll finish, maybe we won't.
The only thing that I had at planning and zoning, last Thursday night, we did, pass the solar amendment, so that should be coming to the full board. I think there's just a couple tiny little, changes, but basically unchanged from what passed at the committee and stuff, so.
Greg,
Was
do we know, has Buffalo Township acted at all on some items specific to their township? I mean, I'm just kind of concerned that,
They passed a moratorium now.
oh, they did, okay,
Yes, Mr. Chair, they passed a moratorium.
okay.
And then they'll be working on their language, just like Franklin, so.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I just didn't want to get to a point where,
We had to hold.
I didn't want to
something up.
bypass them, but I didn't want to
Yeah. No, they
hold
acted,
things up either, so.
they
okay.
acted on it, and I think it's gonna be a good deal for them, so.
Okay, thank you. Hey, did you have anything to add to that, or?
No, I guess I'm up at 9:15, so I can stay here.
Everybody got 9:15?
Yeah, close enough.
I don't want to get started early. I don't know if anybody else is coming besides Dan or not, but 9:14, okay. 9:15 a.m. We'll go ahead and go to Greg Kreiser, then Assistant County Attorney. Update on abatement at 3659 40th Street, Northeast Buffalo Township.
I guess, Mr. Chair, members of the board, you asked me to approach the plant with 4 questions. I summarized those in the memorandum. I have nothing further at this point in time.
Did we get the breakdown for the barn?
Not yet. They said it will be coming.
And as far as the charges, like when the worker was not feeling well,
They indicated they were not charged for that.
they said they were not
Yes.
charged.
So they were aware of that.
Yes.
And then when they were working on the machinery, because there were some breakdowns,
Said that they were not charged for that.
they did not charge for that either.
Yes.
Did Mr. Gutnick get this here?
I don't know. I just put it on the web.
Probably not, okay. You've seen it on, oh, it's on the web, on part of the packet is what you're
Yes,
saying?
yep,
Okay.
yep.
Dan, did you have anything else you wanted to address the board on today? Okay.
Did you see this,
Here, you can have
Yeah, you can
that
have a
copy
copy.
if you want. You can just have that.
so the complete breakdown will be coming then?
I'll follow up with them this afternoon and ask when I can expect it. It should be coming. That's all I had.
We already voted on all this.
Yeah.
This was
This is just an update.
Yeah, so with Dan's, we put it on the taxes, that what we had done, and just, if something came up, we would have kind of rebated, so to speak.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was.
Okay, well, when you get a barn breakdown, then if you can forward it to the board and then somehow get a copy out to
I will,
Mr. Gutnick too.
I will.
Okay. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Back to advisory committee, advisory board updates. Commissioner Delyden.
I don't have anything at this point.
Well, Mike and I had an owners committee meeting on Thursday. You were probably going to bring that up, but I guess I'll start on it since I've got a kind of a change of direction in a couple things. I think there was, I don't know, I know I was a little frustrated, and I think perhaps Commissioner Potter as well, that there wasn't much progress made since when we had met 6 weeks ago. No thresholds have been in place. I thought maybe we were going to inspect a couple and decide whether or not that was the
Really?
fix, and No thresholds in place.
Thresholds, that was for those entrances.
Entrance to the doors.
The epoxy under the doors.
Aren't we getting a little
Old?
cold for that?
Well, I asked them, are you gonna wait till, you know, it's 20 degrees out there when you can't apply the product no more? And it's a good question. We had an issue with some leaking in the building, and the last time we met 6 weeks ago, the Cross Anderson official was gonna check into some stuff and asked about his report as far as checking in, and didn't know any more than we knew 6 weeks ago.
No, they didn't open up the walls above the ceiling and check it out to see if there's moisture or anything there.
So there was some significant frustration expressed on our side, and I'm thinking that something's gonna happen on that now, but why it hadn't happened in the last 6 weeks, I don't know. There sounds like there's a little bit of change of direction on the troughs. We kind of reported back last time that there was maybe gonna be a removal of concrete and replacement of new troughs, and now what they've come up with is a plan to weld literally along the existing,
The grate.
grates to widen them out so they'll sit in there. And someone's gonna come out on site and literally start that, or at least, what we suggest is that they do 2 or 3 of them and let everybody view it and see if it's acceptable or not.
Couldn't they do an epoxy there too? Make a form and do epoxy or not?
I don't
No.
what work?
I don't think it would hold up with the trucks driving over them and stuff.
Yeah, you know, those troughs, they have a 3/8 of an inch overhang on each side. Talk about a bad design to have to be that accurate to fit in there, 3/8 of an inch.
Pretty tight.
So, you know, there was kind of a change in direction there. As far as the roof goes, I guess we're gonna wait till, what they did do with the roof seemed to work in the areas they did it, so now they're gonna have to wait till, spring or early summer when it's warm enough to do the rest of it. So there's money held back and that sort of thing, so, like I say, kind of a disappointing report. I'm a little bit disappointed too, because I think it's been, what, 4, when's the last time we've seen HCM at one of those meetings, Mike? June? Or
June sounds right.
yeah. And then when I see this on the item on the
Transportation.
Transportation Committee, the whole number 4, it kind of really burns me. So anyhow, that's why I was asking Virgil, geez, you know, how did you even get the report that they were interested, since we are asking about that when I haven't seen them in I don't know how long, but. So that's where we're at there. I'm thinking that we set our next meeting for what date, Mike?
It was,
3 weeks out?
I think it was, yeah, it was pretty quick here.
This is November 10th.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm hoping we're gonna get some better progress now between this 3-week period. Is that 3 weeks out? The last one we hadn't met for 6 weeks and really nothing happened, but this one's
Is the shop
3 or 4 weeks,
renting
but
now yet over there or not?
Virgil has told Brian that he's moving in the shop. You gotta move over. And the shop is full of stuff.
so.
They're working on it.
But, again, I think it was kind of a frustrating meeting. And Mike and I expressed our kind of frustration with the lack of action on some things, and kind of,
HCM was not at the meeting then?
No, they
No, I
haven't
haven't- I
been
don't
since June.
yeah, it's probably been about June since they've been at one of them, quite honestly. And they're not as critical, you know what I mean? But I mean, I'd still, since we have outstanding issues and, you know, some of that stuff I would think would take some architectural oversight if you're gonna, you know, cut through the concrete and then pin into the side. You wanna have some sort of an architectural, you know, someone else representing us, agreeing that that's gonna work and stuff. You know, so there's certainly some components of it that I would think they would have been involved with.
Commissioner Swatsky, one thing that did happen since the last meeting, the lettering got put on the signpost.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and there was a problem with some of the locks and the doors.
The doors.
That got corrected too.
That got
but-
corrected.
But they were kind of the minimal things, but yeah, so again, just to point out, I mean, it was kind of a frustrating meeting, and our frustration was, let it be known that it was given very much to Kraus Anderson that there was some frustration and that some of these things needed to pick up and needed to be better communication, so.
So I guess they weren't interested in bidding on our next
Well,
project?
And I concur with Commissioner Swatsky's view on, we are expecting like the check where the cap wasn't down, where the water came in, we thought that was gonna be tested and have results back for us.
Oh, for sure.
We thought that the threshold, the epoxy was gonna be on, and they were kind of doing the Donler, thought we meant do it next spring, and we said, no, we meant doing it now. I'm not sure where that got crossed up, but my understanding was they were gonna do it already.
well, yeah, and I don't know. They said that apparently those guys came out and somebody said to them not to do it or something. I don't, like, again, I don't know what the miscommunication was, but,
That
was
might be at
supposed to
the
happen,
point
but-
now where it might be too late to do it.
well, yeah, I don't know. In any event, but like I said, I think we're gonna have more action. Yeah, relative to the moisture and that sort of thing. Now, I mean, there's been direction given. You need to somehow get into those walls, make sure there's no moisture in there, and the cost associated with it is coming off of the roofing bill. You know, because that's the only reason we're having to get in there in the first place, so. You know, there's been direction given on that, and I presume we're gonna get a report. Hopefully, we won't find anything, but like like you said there, we don't wanna find out 3 years from now that there's mold growing in there, and the next thing you know, it's all our problem. And then suddenly we got a $50,000 problem instead of a couple $1,000 problem that the roofer's gonna pay for, so. That's pretty much,
Yeah, they should be able to monitor that with a camera.
Yeah, they usually do a camera and a meter goes in there.
Meter, too.
yeah, they got a moisture meter that they can put in there, and if it seems higher than it should be, then I guess they'd know. You know, he mentioned that, well, there's, some kind of wool insulation in there that doesn't,
It's mineral, which doesn't.
which won't grow, but of course, there's
Yeah.
sheet rock there, and we all know that if the sheet rock
Right.
in the back of that paper is
At least good to
wet
know
for too
about
long, it would, so. So that's gonna be checked now, but, anyhow, that's where we're at there, and, on a different note of things that kind of have lasted forever and, hope to come to a conclusion is Charlie and I have a River Rider meeting today at 3 PM, and, maybe this is it, maybe this is the one where we, to have the check sent back to the counties and be done with it. I guess we'll see, but that's kind of our hope, although I'm not exactly sure that we've ever heard back from MnDOT yet on a final note, but I think we've kind of gotten to the point where we're maybe not gonna wait forever for them, so, that's where that's at.
I think that's probably wise. Time to move
You
it,
know.
time to finish it, because you won't be around, and neither will those from the
The two
Sherburne
Sherburne
County
ones, exactly. So-
commissioners, so, it's gotta get buttoned up by the end of the year,
Yeah, so, again,
one way or the other.
we didn't actually get back the final resolution from them like we thought we would have had, but we may not be waiting for that.
Good.
That's my report, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Last week, had the library board, we met on a kind of a special meeting, basically was to go through what plan is for next year. The library service agreement that are the contentious with our branches here. Didn't come up in formal discussion, but it was made mention at the next meeting, it's gonna be part of it. They were hoping to have all these buttoned up by the end of the year, but that's not gonna happen, because we're even getting, of our branches here, and even Sherburne County branches are concerned about what does this mean, because there's too many open-ended with policy decisions, and people are worried about what that means. So I propose that it goes until June of next year, to try to work out all these issues that every city in Wright County that has a library is concerned about, and those in Sherburne County are concerned about it too. So you make up quite a bit of the system there. The other thing is, I want to say Jennifer, and I can't remember her last name right at the moment, she's the new Central Minnesota Library, with this, Patty, she's
Exchange,
she's the lead.
CMLE,
CML, that's it. She's new to the system. She's our new person that our representative there will help with some of the legislative issues. Going through, we have a game plan for going down next year for getting the funding of the libraries more stable than it's been, because it's been kind of erratic. And the library, all the different branches or the systems have proposed basically a $3 million increase to the distribution within the library system. And they do have sponsors and co-sponsors for that lined up, ready to go. And the strategy on how to approach this. and go forward with this at the legislature. And I just might put my 2 cents in. Go in early and go in hard, with this before they start getting boggled down with everything else, because you never know which next famous Minnesotan will die and they'll have to spend 4 weeks talking about nothing.
$3 million for,
Additional funding for the library system across the state. And they have
Across the
funding,
state, okay.
they have a funding formula there, and everybody gains a little bit. The MELSA, I think it's the metropolitan one. It took a long time to get them to the table on this because they were kind of thinking that they should be getting a lot more money.
of course.
But the consensus was, excuse me, if you don't have all this library system signing off on this together, we're not going to have much of a force going in there. But if MELSA, and I might be butchering that up, it's the Metropolitan Library System. If they come in on board with it, we have a better chance of getting this done. So that was the gist of the special meeting. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Gibson?
I attended the drug court update last Wednesday, and they are going to roll this out on November 3rd, and they're looking forward to a new system for intensive treatment rehabilitation in lieu of prison. So we've been working hard to get this in place. So it'll be interesting to sit in on, I think, some sessions and see how it works. And Clearwater River Watershed District.
I'm sorry, just on a note, I don't know if you guys read the article. I think it was in the Sunday paper or Saturday paper regarding
Yeah.
Dakota counties,
The
drug court, and how the person
judge.
there has the one judge has some real personal
right. Yeah, his daughter had
involvement.
died of a drug overdose.
But yeah, it sounds like it's been working very well in some of the other counties where they've had it.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that it will help those people that really need it.
And, I mean, the recidivism rate is very low with drug court compared to sending people to prison. So I'm interested to see.
I have a question, Chris. Is that for like an alcohol problem too? Would
Yeah.
They could also go?
Yeah, I thought it was just drugs, but yeah,
Yeah, it is alcohol also. Yeah, and they consider that kind of a drug.
Well, I think
You
it
know.
probably
it
is
is.
kind of a drug.
It's a chemical.
Yeah, and maybe they should change the name from drug court to
Yeah.
chemical dependency court or something.
Yeah, I didn't realize that alcohol was part of it, so. And Clearwater River Watershed District, they had a public hearing for school section outlet control project. They're trying to decide whether they need to reapportion the benefits because the way they were divided up in the 60s may not be fair. And
You mean
they
50-some years later, it maybe be worked itself out of whack?
maybe. So we'll see. Well, what happened is the people that had a lot on the lake were apportioned so much, and say a farmer had, more property that was later divided into 10 pieces, well, that property is, divided into 10 different areas now instead of each person getting the same. So they're looking at trying to do that. They've got a control structure that ICE is kind of been destroying it. They're trying to move forward on that project. And
But they wouldn't be able to change that though. I mean, you can't, once you set up a structure, we can't change it. There's no way, is there?
no,
I don't think you can change it easily, and that's probably by design, but I suspect
you need to
there's-
do it per specs. Let me put it that way.
Just in jest, Chris.
And, yeah, I know. Pheasants Forever, state
Not a ditch
coordinator
either,
was there. They are looking at buying some property. This is actually in Meeker County, but part of the Clearwater River Watershed District. And then they're going to be donating it to the DNR for hunting. And they're working on
Is
a
that,
number of projects, pardon.
or is that strictly in Wright County?
In Meeker County.
Meeker.
Meeker, yeah.
So she
So it's
approved
really-
that right away.
Yeah. I'm not a voting member, I just listen. And this isn't really an advisory committee, but I've been asked as commissioner to attend these dementia-friendly communities. And Buffalo is pretty much signing up to do this. And so we had a speaker yesterday that was pretty interesting, and especially in light of that Bobby V just died yesterday, and he had Alzheimer's. His sons are going to actually speak next March at the conference in St. Paul, and they've got a little clip of Bobby and Glenn Campbell, of course, who also has Alzheimer's, and so it might be kind of a interesting conference to attend. I don't know if I will, but just there's a lot of the, when you look at the different diseases, there's some diseases that are going down in numbers, like breast cancer, and dementia's climbed like 71%. Right now,
that
there's
affects a lot of people.
It's
Yeah.
right. It's like 91,000 people in Minnesota over the age of 65, and 1 in 9 people age 65 and older has Alzheimer's, and that's pretty incredible statistics. And about a third of the people age 85 and older have it, and they're also, the early onset Alzheimer's is on the increase also. They're saying that in 2015, more than 15 million caregivers provided an estimated $18.1 billion of unpaid care. So that's incredible if you think that if we need to put people in care facilities or whatever, the treatment is more intensive, and it's just a growing concern as us boomers are getting older, and we're looking at living longer and longer, and chance of developing some type of a disease is greater the longer we live, and certainly Alzheimer's is one of those diseases. So anyway, dementia-friendly communities are basically so people with dementia are safe and also acclimated, doing different things in the community. I think I mentioned last time that one example would be that if you're with someone whose behavior is a little unpredictable, when you go shopping, you can hand someone at the front a card saying, this person has dementia in case there's some incident or whatever. It sort of explains things ahead of time, so if there's some kind of an incident that people aren't taken by surprise. So
they don't take the wrong action.
Right, yeah. But that's about it. I mean, there's a lot of information, and this is an aside, but saw Bobby V went down to the 50th anniversary of the day the music died, but of the surf ballroom in Clear Lake, Iowa, the 50th anniversary of the winter dance party, and he was there, and it was quite the performer.
Did you go to that, you said?
Mm-hmm. That was going on 8 years ago, so it was
Was Dick Neumann down there? Did you see him?
I don't know. I mean, it was so crowded. We stood, and it was like 5 hours. This concert went on for 5 hours. I mean, Peter and Gordon were there, and Richie Valens, some of his family was there, and I don't remember all the acts, but it was kind of like, okay, I'm not the tallest person in the world, so I was kind of like trying to see for people, and if someone would leave for a minute, you kind of scoot forward so you can see, but it was worth it. But
You could have brought a stepladder with you.
I should have, if I had known. But it was yeah, it was fun.
Okay.
That's about it.
Definitely is a concern.
Anything else come before the board? There being no further business, we're adjourned at 9:35 a.m.